Hello and welcome to another video. This video is basically a continuation on my extensive research into the film Silence of the Lambs. In this video I'm basically going to be explaining to you how it sticks to conventions and if it doesn't, how it doesn't. So yeah, let's get on with it. In my opinion, Silence of the Lambs does genuinely stick to the conventions of the crime genre. By this I mean it's got a clear antagonist and a clear protagonist, the antagonist being Hannibal Lecter, or Dr. Hannibal Lecter should I say. And then you've got the protagonist who is the Law with Clarice Starling and Jack Crawford. There's also quite a lot of non-diegetic music, like if you Google the soundtrack for Silence of the Lambs it is quite extensive and there is quite a lot. So it's and if you watch the film there is quite a lot of non-diegetic music, which is one of the conventions that I found of the crime genre, because it's easier to show fighting scenes and gory scenes with music behind them, because non-diegetic music, depending on what it is, can dramatically affect the mood of the audience. So clearly this is why Silence of the Lambs have used this. Also it is really quite gory. I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to ruin the plot for you, but there is a lot of gore, and not just gore that you see, there's a lot of gore that you hear about that does just sort of make you shudder, which I suppose is good for a crime film because they're not meant to be the nicest things in the world, are they? Because they are, of course, crime, and crime isn't nice. One unique thing about Silence of the Lambs though is that doesn't fit in with the crime genre is that usually the antagonist and the protagonist are very anti each other. So obviously the law will try and find the criminal and the criminal will try and run away from the law or stop the law looking for them. Whereas in this film, with the protagonist being the law, i.e. the FBI agents, and the antagonists being Hannibal Lecter, they do come together because obviously the whole purpose of the film really is Clarice Starling and Jack Crawford coming to Hannibal Lecter to try and work out where this other criminal is. So, which is quite unique with the crime film, because obviously usually the law and the criminals are against each other, but in a way in this film they come together to help each other out, which, you know, is always nice. Another thing that's weird about the antagonist and the protagonist coming together is that Hannibal Lecter is actually helping them find another criminal. Whereas usually criminals are on one side and the law is on the other. So all the policemen stick together and all the criminals and the gangs all stick together and they won't rat each other out. Whereas in this film, obviously Hannibal Lecter is ratting out another criminal, which is extremely strange as criminals, they usually tend not to give each other away. Something as well that also fights against the conventions is that Hannibal Lecter is actually extremely clever, because before he was a criminal he was actually a well-known psychiatrist, and usually criminals are portrayed as being dumb and from a minority background, so they're all really poor, whereas obviously as Hannibal Lecter was a psychiatrist he would have been from quite a wealthy background. His cleverness shows through in the film as well. In the clip I'm about to show you, you see how he can make things go his way when he speaks to people, and he knows things and he knows how to twist people's minds. Obviously being a psychiatrist, that sort of comes with the job, as you have to study people's minds, but it's different as criminals are usually not that intelligent. So Hannibal Lecter being an ex-psychiatrist and still being able to do all his to manipulate people's minds makes him very clever and stand out from other criminals in other films.
Senator Martin, Dr. Hannibal Lecter.
Dr. Lecter, I brought an affidavit guaranteeing your new rights. You want to read it before I sign?
I won't waste your time or Catherine's time bargaining for petty privileges. Clarice Starling and that awful Jack Crawford have wasted far too much time already. I only pray they haven't doomed the poor girl. Let me help you now, and I will trust you when it is all over.
You have my word, Paul.
Buffalo Bill's real name is Louis Friend. I met him just once. He was referred to me in April or May 1980 by my patient Benjamin Raspel. They were lovers, you see. But Raspel had become very frightened. Apparently, Louis had murdered a transient and done things with the skin.
We need his address and a physical description.
Tell me, Senator, did you nurse Catherine yourself?
What?
Did you breastfeed her?
Now, wait a minute.
Yes, I did.
Toughened your nipples, didn't it?
Oh, son of a bitch.
Amputate a man's leg and he can still feel it tickling. Tell me, Mom, when your little girl is on the slab, where will it tickle you?
Take this thing back to Baltimore.
5'10", strongly built, about 180 pounds. Hair blonde, eyes pale blue. He'd be about 35 now. He said he lived in Philadelphia, but may have lied. That's all I can remember, Mom. But if I think of any more, I will let you know. Oh, and Senator, just one more thing. Love your suit.
As I've said before, Hannibal Lecter is extremely clever. And this can be seen from the get-go, really, because the police come to Hannibal Lecter to try and find this other criminal that they can't find themselves. And usually policemen, it's their job to find criminals. So the fact that they're actually coming to another criminal to find a criminal is quite strange. So it obviously shows you how clever he actually is. You can see this in this clip that I'm playing now. What's happening really is that Clarice Starling is actually getting advice and Hannibal Lecter is sort of giving her clues. So she works the answer out for herself, but he's actually helping her get to the answers. As you saw in them two videos, Hannibal Lecter can manipulate the policemen quite a lot, but as well as manipulating them, he can help them a lot, which is not really something you see in a crime genre film, as usually it's the police helping the police, criminals helping the criminals, and the criminals are usually unintelligent. So in conclusion, Silence of the Lambs in some ways sticks with a lot of the conventions of the crime genre, but also it breaks away from the crime genre as the main character, or one of the main characters, Hannibal Lecter, is actually extremely clever, and the law are actually asking him for help, which is obviously not a convention. So that was my research into Silence of the Lambs. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time in my next video. Bye!